dramatic, but the total might still be detectable. And whatnot. We do observe such a background of gamma rays. There's a figure here. We'll show this in a bit. Oh yeah, good. There is a figure here. We'll show this in a bit. This shows how the observed intensity differs at different frequencies, the number of waves per second. However, this background could have been, and probably was, generated by processes other than primordial black holes. The dotted line, let me show you this dotted line real quick. Or the line, here's the line, here's the dotted line. I'll show this in more detail in just a second. The dotted line shows how the intensity should vary with frequency for gamma rays given off by primordial black holes if there were on average 300 per cubic light year. If there were on average 300 per cubic light year. So the distance that light travels in a year. One can therefore say that the observations of the gamma ray background do not provide any positive evidence for primordial black holes. So we're trying to see if we can observe them, if there's any evidence for them. But they do tell us that on average, there cannot be more than 300 in every cubic light year in the universe. Hi, Rose. Hi, Stephen. Hi, second best. Hello, Wonder Boy. Who is copying who? I don't know. I'm reading. Enjoy each other and enjoy the black holes. This limit, so not more than 300 in every cubic light year in the universe, is a limit, right? This limit means that primordial black holes could make up at most 1/1,000,000th of the matter in the universe. 1/1,000,000th of the matter in the universe. With primordial black holes being so scarce, it might seem unlikely that there would be one near enough for us to observe as an individual source of gamma rays. So if they're so unlikely, if they're so, rare, in other words, then, most likely we won't see one nearby, near enough for us to really observe, right? Hi, El Challen. Has someone been mean to you again? I haven't seen in a bit. Doro! Who was mean to poor El Challen again? Who? Poor El Challen? I guess he's gone, or she. With primordial black holes being so scarce, it might seem unlikely that there would be one near enough for us to observe as an individual source of gamma rays. But since gravity would draw primordial black holes toward any matter, they should be much more common in and around galaxies. So although the gamma ray background tells us that there can be no more than 300 primordial black holes per cubic light year on average, so we get that limit. Can we get 20 likes? What is happening here? Who is fighting with who, and can we get 20 likes? So this 300 primordial black holes per cubic light year on average, it tells us nothing about how common they might be in our own galaxy. If they were, say, 1,000,000 times more common than this, then the nearest black hole to us would probably be at a distance of about 1,000 million kilometers, or about as far away as Pluto, the farthest known planet. At this distance, it would still be very difficult to detect the steady emission of a black hole, even if it was 10,000 megawatts. In order to observe a primordial black hole, one would have to detect several gamma ray quanta coming from the same direction within a reasonable space of time, such as a week. Because remember, we don't expect to get a lot of emission from a black hole. That's sort of the point of them, is that they're black. Stephen Hawking is making the point how black holes ain't so black. There may be some emission from them. The smaller they are, the more the emission, etc. But still, to expect a ton of emission or gamma rays or photons from